Yes, you can, I hope.
Yes.
It's always hard to come after you, David, but I'll do my best, because you said that as we're looking at famine, as we're looking at food shortages, it's coming to you. Well, climate and nature and pollution is coming to us all too. And we need to understand, you speak about the absolutely tragic 5 seconds and what happens in lives of children. Well, every second we're losing one soccer field of tropical forest. And these are our lungs, this is our nature, this is what generates part of the weather patterns that we've come to rely. And just in the last couple of weeks, what have we seen? We've seen inundations in China, in Europe, we've seen wildfires in Russia and in the US, we've seen droughts and misery across the world. And that's when we are at 1 degree. And right now we're hurtling towards 3.4 degrees. So that's why it really matters that we understand that the food systems is this integrated piece where climate and pollution and biodiversity has to be part and parcel of the solution, which is why we, from the United Nations Environment Programme, very much salute this this summit, and understanding, therefore, that we can't take one problem and solve it uniquely, because the planetary systems are interdependent. Our nature and what grows and lives on the terrestrial surface, our nature and what is in our oceans, our understanding of weather, our understanding of the future is based on a planet that is reliable. We can no longer assume that harvest will follow harvest, that rain will follow rain, that we will have that future of plenty, because we are messing with the very planetary systems that regulate how we live. And so an honest conversation, a real conversation about some of the primary issues that are part of the problem have to be part of the solution. And so as we understand, and we've heard from smallholder farmers, and we've heard from indigenous people, more than 2 billion people in smallholder farms, supplying 35% of the world's food supply, largely in the communities where they live. But we need to have a conversation about big soy. We need to have a conversation about big timber. We need to have a conversation about big cattle. We need to have a conversation about big palm. We need to have a conversation about pulp and paper. We need to have a conversation about destruction of the very nature that is enabling our sustainability on this good earth. Never to make those sectors the enemy. And I heard Peter Backer, but those sectors have a responsibility to lean in and to drive sustainability. That is what we need to see them do. And governments do not have the option of sitting back. Governments set the policy guardrails for what is going to happen. And governments need to set policies that do not subsidize, that do not cause further destruction, that subsidize the right things, subsidize that smallholder, and yes, subsidize big ag if that is what is needed, but not with those negative consequences. So it's nice to say nature positive agriculture, but that means something, and that means signing up to an ambitious post-2020 biodiversity framework. That means coming in with an ambitious NDC, and that means reducing the agrochemicals where we can to ensure that our waterways and our oceans are not overburdened by nitrogen and killing our seas. And it means reducing plastic too in agriculture. And I heard Gilbert speaking about innovative financing, and I couldn't agree with him more. Yes, we need, of course, the public finance, the grants, etc., but we need the big finance and we need innovation. And that is why this Food Systems Summit matters so much, because it brings the entire spectrum together. And we from UNEP are very, very pleased to be here. Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Inger Andersen. You're also the chair